in the APC. What has changed? Because you gave certain specific reasons at the time. Lack of internal democracy within the APC in Lagos State. So has that changed? And when you say you lead the Ambode, campaign organization, AMCO for short, does it mean that former Governor Ambode of Lagos State also has a special interest in this 2023 process? And if it does, what is that special interest?
Okay, let me start by saying that I did not only resign from the APC, I also resigned from the government. I resigned my appointment. That's the first one. Secondly, with respect to coming back to APC, all the things I complained about at that time, they have not changed, particularly in Lagos. But at the federal level of the APC, we've seen some changes lately, and that is a major inspiration for all the members of the party. Because the leadership we had at the national level before, I don't want to say they were biased, but a lot of things that happened did not go well with me, and to the best of my judgment, a lot of them are questionable. So, given that scenario and seeing what is going on in the party, I can tell you that I've come back to the party to see how the power of the party can be restored back to the members of the party. Because what we have in Lagos particularly is a situation where a particular group within the party has monopolized the power to the exclusion of the all other groups in the party, and that is not internal democracy at all. So I'm back to the party. I'm happy to be back. I'm coordinating AMCO, and Governor Ambode is interested in what happens in Lagos in 2023. Well, and that interest aligns with the expectation of the people.
Well, if Governor Ambode in 2018 could not get the ticket, I mean, what could be his game plan this time around, considering the fact that you yourself just said nothing has changed within the APC in Lagos State? After all, during the congresses last year in 2021, we saw that, there were factions within the party in Lagos, although some people will say, oh, there are no factions, but we've seen that there are factions. And at least one faction decided to leave, the faction called Lagos for Lagos. The gentleman leading that, Dr. Adediran Jandor, as is popularly known, left for the PDP. The chairman of that faction, a few days ago, just came back to the APC. So what gives former Governor Ambode the confidence that AMCO will be able to challenge the dominant group within the party?
Okay, let me put it this way. When I said nothing has changed in Lagos, I was using that as the justification for my coming back to the APC in Lagos to work with like minds who want change and who wants the party to go along the process of internal democracy. And that is what this thing is about. That is why I've come back, to implement that change that we desire. That change that was frustrated in 2019, that made me to leave. I'm now back to be part of that change process and make it happen. That's on one hand. On the other hand, we cannot compare 2019 with 2023. They are not the same. Because the party we had in 2019 is not the same party we are having now in 2022. Because as observers and as party members, we saw what happened at the national convention of the party. So it's a new dawn. And we have the confidence in the national leadership of the party today that there will be fairness, there will be justice, and of course there will be fairness, there will be justice, and of course the playing field will be level for all participating groups. What we have today is a situation where a group sits down within their own group, they decide the candidates they will field, and they force that candidate on the party or those candidates on the party. That is not democracy. Internal democracy should be that we have all adopted the consensus approach to selection for party offices. When that consensus has been agreed, the consensus is supposed to reflect all the tendencies in the party, not just one. So 100% of all the party positions have been assigned to or allocated, if I could put it that way, to just one particular group, and that's not sustainable. So that's been contested, and I'm sure we'll get a result from that.
Okay, you still haven't answered my question.
Please.
There's a group in Lagos called the Governance Advisory Council. That Governance Advisory Council is a dominant body, right?
No, not dominant, please.
Well, that's
a major group within the party.
Well, that's how it appears, because that Governance Advisory Council now has just taken a decision that Governor Ambode has been endorsed for a second term. I said Governor Ambode, Governor Sanwo-Olu, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the incumbent. And you know that the incumbent governor has already obtained his expression of interest and nomination forms. So we're told he's going to declare formally very soon. And we've also been reading certain stories that other positions within the party, have been zoned. So where does that leave AMCO? Short of AMCO going to engage in an open fight?
Okay, let me put it this way. The party must be guided by its constitution and also by its guidelines. As far as we know, the GAC is not an organ created by the party. So, to the best of our own assessment, the GAC is an NGO, a non-governmental organization, not created by law, but it is possible they may have gone to the CAC to register the GAC voluntarily. Is their right by law. But a GAC that is an NGO within the party has a right to sponsor candidates that will advance its own interests. Let's not mix these two, because what is happening in Lagos today is as if people are being hoodwinked to believe that when the GAC talks, that is the party that's talking. That's absolutely incorrect. So the GAC as we know it today is not known to the party, is not known to the constitution of the party, but to the extent that they are members of the party, they are allowed to form a group of their own and sponsor their own candidates that will advance their own interests. The same way AMCO will sponsor its own candidates too. And then we go for the primaries. And the members of the party will have the privilege to pick whether the GAC candidates or the AMCO candidates. That's where this internal democracy is going. So for us, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has picked his own form. The AMCO governorship candidate will also pick his own form, and then the primaries will happen. Okay,
from the AMCO side, are we likely to see former Governor Ambode picking up the form to, challenge Governor Sanwo-Olu a second time? Is that likely to happen? And if the AMCO group is also going to field candidates, at what levels? And how are you also zoning or anointing your own candidates from your group?
Well, we don't anoint. What we do is to even practice internal democracy within AMCO itself. Now, for AMCO, we are participating at every level of the election: governorship, senatorial, House of Reps, and House of Assembly. We are going to field candidates for all. That's number one. Number two, as we field candidates, the top of the ticket, that is the standard flag bearer to contest for governorship, I can tell you for free, to the best of my knowledge, is not going to be Governor Akinwumi Ambode. That's not where we are going. But the group will make its own determination as to the candidate that will fly its own that will be the candidate of AMCO, and will go and contest in the primary election. And that process is already being concluded. I'm sure by early next week, that candidate will be announced. It could be Wale Oluwo, it could be any other person, but if I'm given that opportunity, I will not unreasonably reject it.
Okay, so from the way you see it, the APC in Lagos is factionalized.
There is not, well,
although some people will say, no.
It's not factionalized.
It's family disagreement.
It's not factionalized. Look, you see, you cannot have a political grouping and not have different groups within that group. It's just as like saying you want to have a Nigeria and you don't have Yoruba people, Igbo people, Hausa people. So you have different tendencies within a political party. That's what democracy is all about. But our ability to harmonize the tendencies in a way that it will not become destructive is how you succeed in democracy. So the group that we know as GAC today, they are exercising their rights to promote their own candidate. Mind you, I characterize them as NGO. NGO is to promote the members, I mean the interests of the members of their group. So to that extent, they have picked the incumbent to promote the interests of their members. We will pick our own, and then we go to the field to determine who the party members wants to make the flag bearer.
Okay, the 2023 general elections will be, of course, different because it's a transition, major national transition moment, in Nigeria. And this time around, Lagos is going to be a major battleground. The national leader of the party, APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, considered also the godfather of Lagos State APC, is running for the position of president. He too has, collected his nomination of interest and nomination forms. Now, from Lagos also, you have Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, even if he has now changed his, electoral constituency to Ogun State. We're likely to have other, presidential aspirants coming out of Lagos State. Don't you think that the incumbent administration in Lagos State has every reason, since that administration has openly declared support for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to hold down whatever it takes, Lagos State, if only to use that to help, the Godfather, as it were?
Okay, let me put it this way. I think it's within the rights of Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President Osinbajo to contest to be the presidential flag bearers of the party. It's within their rights, and we don't have any problem about that as far as AMCO is concerned. But our own position is that Lagos State is not owned by either of the two candidates. The Lagos APC is owned by the members of the party. So we will make our case to the members of the party. Let them also come with their own value proposition, and everybody will decide who to follow. But that Governor Sanwo-Olu will have the capacity to lock down Lagos State for any particular candidate. Maybe probably that was possible in 2019, not in 2023. I can tell you that.
So I take it that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not your favorite for that position, because you just talked about his right and all of that.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Absolutely.
So he's your favorite candidate then?
No. I'm not going to say that on the air for now, but it's not my favorite candidate.
But do you think the state is going in the direction you would love it to go in terms of development? You've been in government before, and we have an incumbent governor who has what he calls a themes agenda, THEMES. And Governor Sanwo-Olu has had, the unusual fortune, of being a governor who had to manage a major crisis, the COVID-19 crisis. And after the COVID-19 crisis, some other issues that are both local and global. How would you rate the performance of his administration so far? And, just be objective. Don't be partisan.
No, I won't be partisan. And you see, we don't talk out of context. What we've done in AMCO was to send people to the field in the last 3-4 months to gather data, to interview people, and let us feel the pulse of the citizens of Lagos. Based on the data that we have, the people of Lagos are not adjudging Governor Sanwo-Olu as having met their expectation with respect to development. I'm not even comparing Governor Sanwo-Olu with our own administration. No, I'm just saying the data we got from the field seems to suggest that Governor Sanwo-Olu has not done well to the expectation of the people. But let me come back to our own administration. I mean, we are not priding ourselves in terms of performance, but we are seeing performance for performance. They can't be compared. That is the truth. Because how do you measure an administration? You have to start from security, and then you start to talk about infrastructure. We can show a lot of things for our time in office, but for this government, because we're in the same party, this is not the time to start tearing ourselves apart. But we need to see the projects that have been done.
But if you must give Governor Sanwo-Olu credit, he completed some of the projects, that Governor Ambode initiated. And he has also followed very faithfully what is called the Lagos Master Plan. Some people, quite a number of people give him credit for that. The other day, he's made significant progress with the rail line, the metro line in Lagos, a project that has been there since the days of Alhaji Lateef Jakonde. And some of those projects that he has completed, they're there for people to see in terms of infrastructure.
Okay, let me start. No, let me start by saying that, yes, fact is fact. Did he complete some of the projects of Governor Ambode? Yes, he did. Did he abandon some others? Of course, he abandoned some. But at the end of the day, the rail project that Governor Sanwo-Olu says he will finish in 2023 was the rail project started by Governor Fashola. And we worked on that rail project too as an administration, because we brought the transportation for London, TFL. We brought them to Lagos to make an assessment of the rail project, and they gave us a report, and they said they were not going to do that project, they were not going to touch it. Then we went to France to bring ESCOM, that is the equivalent of transportation for London in Paris, and they came back. They did an evaluation. It took them months, and they said this is how much will be required to complete the project. But they were also going to give 85% of the funding. 85% of the funding through their own Exim Bank, that is the Export-Import Bank. And we were going through that process of unlocking the money. Whether the new administration that's in place now succeeded in unlocking that money, or whether they got some alternative money to continue that project. But there's more to the project than just buying coaches. There's more to railway than just buying coaches. You must complete the line, which I can see has not been completed. You must complete the stations. And as you complete the stations, you must also make sure that there is a power infrastructure that can make it to be very functional. Then there is the signaling system. There are so many other systems that we still need to see happen. It is when we see those things happening that we can say, yes, this project is on course to be delivered in 2023. But I commend their efforts the same way I commend our own efforts, and the rail is for the overall interest of the people of Lagos.
But do you think that a time will ever come when, the opposition party in Lagos will be able to win election in Lagos State? Because it looks like since 1999, Lagos State has been locked down by just one group politically. Why do you think it is so? Or do you think it's a lack of dynamism on the part of the opposition in Lagos politics?
I think what we've had all along is a two-party dominance in Lagos, the PDP and the APC. Yes, the PDP has not been able to take power from the APC. Why they have not, I cannot answer the question for them. But I know they started on a weak footing, particularly when the 37 LCDAs. When the LCDAs were formed, the PDP abstained from participating in the elections at the local level. And you see, the local level politics is really the grassroots where the votes will come from. So for almost like 2 or 3 election cycles, PDP completely boycotted the local government elections in Lagos State, and that gave the ruling party the opportunity, to take a lot of the available positions in the state, and they've since locked it down at that time. So we in AMCO, we are in APC. We don't have a problem with APC continuing in government post 2023, but that continuation must be by AMCO people, not what we have today. So APC will still win, but it will be AMCO that will lead that APC.
Okay, apart from the leader of the AMCO group, former Governor Akinwumi Ambode, and your good self, who are the other prominent persons who are part of that particular group that wants to displace is it the NGO you refer to them, the governance?
If it's GSC, it's NGO.
Yes, but who are the other prominent persons there? Because it can't just be only you and former Governor Akinwumi Ambode.
It's not only the two of us. Let me put it this way: AMCO is approaching the politics from a completely different perspective. We are not looking for big names. Rather, we are looking for members of the party at the grassroots level and at the local government levels. We have a structure that is spread over the 20 local governments in this state and 245 wards that we have in Lagos State. So those structures are populated by our people, the downtrodden, the artisan, and the young people that can provide leadership at every level. So our own approach to governance is not an approach of Godfatherism or a gerontocracy of a people that will now be deciding and what our people call Baba Sokwe. No, we are taking power back to the people. We are taking power back to the youth. And if we are going to do that, we are not going to bring all the prominent names that we come and replicate what is happening now. And then there would not have been any change. It would have been a wasted effort. So our philosophy is clear, our approach is clear, and our direction is that we are returning power to the people, and then we are bringing the youth to play major roles in the politics of Lagos.
Okay, we have seen, members of the present administration in Lagos and some of the associates in one of the groups within the APC in Lagos State taking the forms. Okay, others who have not taken their forms have indicated the positions they are interested in. And of course, the party primaries would take place towards the end of May. When are we going to see members of AMCO also coming forward and saying, on the platform of APC, I want to run for this office and I've taken my nomination and expression of interest forms, considering the fact that we're talking about a lot of money, 100 million for presidential slot, 50 million for governorship slot. Your group, do you have people with the financial muscle to walk the talk?
Absolutely. Our people have been collecting forms. But it's one thing to collect form, it's another thing to make noise about it. Making noise about a form you have collected does not add any value to your form. What is important is you collect your form and then you start talking to the delegates that will decide the election in your own constituency. Our people have been collecting forms at the House of Representatives level, at the House of Assembly levels, the topmost levels of the states, which are the senators and the governorship. That will happen next week. But our people are already collecting forms.
So do you imagine that you will not have the kind of situation you had in the APC congresses last year, whereby we were told that a list had been prepared and that list was just imposed down the line? You think that will not happen this time? And if it were to happen this time, with some, very powerful interest groups within the party going the same way, what strategy do you have in AMCO to challenge that beyond going on appeal, party structure appeals, all the appeals from the World Congresses last year? Did anything come out of those appeals? I think some people had their way.
No. That's not correct.
Okay.
That's not correct. Let me clarify that. The chairman of the party in Lagos State, Mr. Ojelabi, was inaugurated in Abuja. That's the only inauguration that we know about. As we speak today, at the local government level, there has not been any inauguration. At the ward levels, 245 in all, there has not been any inauguration. That shows you that process of emergence of those party executives, that process is still being contested, and we are contesting it very strongly, because what was agreed was consensus, and we find a situation where about 5 groups in a political party are supposed to come together to agree on consensus, and now they share the positions, and a particular group just hijacked the entire process and started writing names and allocated all the positions to members of their group. So as far as we are concerned, we don't recognize the ward executives that they are parading. Well, to the extent that they've not even been sworn in, we believe nothing has happened. And we have confidence in the national leadership of the party today that all those lists will be corrected before the primaries.
Okay, Honorable Wale Oluo, former Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources in Lagos State, discussing political developments ahead of the 2023 general elections within the ruling All Progressives Congress Party in Lagos State. At this point, Honorable Oluo, let us take a short break, and then when we return, we will keep our lines open so that this is not just a dialogue between you and I, so that persons listening to us can also give their perspectives about what they think of politics in Lagos State ahead of the 2023 general elections. We'll take this break now, and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Stay tuned.
City 1051 FM, the best radio station in the heart of Lagos. We run the city. City Talks with REUBEN ABATI on City 1051 FM.
Please note, the views and opinions expressed in the course of this program do not represent that of City 1051 FM. The station, therefore, is not liable to any legal action that may result from the program.
Welcome back from that commercial break, and thank you very much for staying with us. And for those of you who are just tuning in, welcome to City Talks with REUBEN ABATI on your number one lifestyle station, City 1051. And I remain your host, REUBEN ABATI. And today we're discussing political developments in Lagos State ahead of the 2023 general elections, particularly within the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State. And our guest is still Honorable Wale Oluo, former Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources in Lagos State under the Akinwumi Ambode administration. And remember, if you want to be part of this conversation, our lines are now open. You can call us on 0700 1051 1051, and then via WhatsApp 090 991 64403. And on social media accounts at City 1051 on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, looks like we have a caller on the line. Please, your name, your location, and please keep it brief. Okay, we lost that caller. Again, the number to call is 0700 1051 1051. And we'll be, we're right here. There's also another number, 090-991-64403, and that's our WhatsApp line. We have someone on the line. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good morning, our doctor. And good morning to the guests in the studio too. Are you hearing me?
Yes, clearly. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Your name and your location.
My name is Prince YS, calling from Amuodofin. Until you brought this former commissioner to your studio, I don't know that AP still have a person in Lagos. But if I can talk of Ambode, former governor, yes, I love him. He performed brilliantly. But you see, all doing is by abandoning the project started by Fashola, especially Lagos Badagry Expressway. For complete 4 years, that road was not touched. It's a present governor that's doing fantastic job on that road now. And it expands to major projects started by Fashola. The tree planting in Lagos, apart a lot of things. But when you talk of refuge in Lagos, he introduced new that's not working. That's your doing of former governor. So now, the fashion man that is talking in your studio now, I don't see headway for them to, instead of, for me, Ambode, I want you to work with the president body in Lagos, so that if you can't be a governor again, it can be a senator. So the fashion they are facing now can never win a local government. That's what I will say this afternoon. God bless you.
Okay, well.
Yeah. Thank you. I will quickly I will quickly take that from our caller from Amuwo Odofin. Well, yes, I want to thank you very much for your offer of senatorial position, but Governor Ambode would decline that. I don't think that's the political direction he wants to pursue. Let me correct an impression. There is no Fashola project, there is no Ambode project, and there is no Sanwo-Olu project in Lagos. All the projects in Lagos belongs to Lagos State and the people of Lagos, and they are being financed by Lagos money, your taxes. So Governor Ambode, I'm telling you categorically that we did not discriminate against any project. We did not say this is Fashola's project and we will not work on them. Let me be specific. You talked about the Lagos Badagry project. The Lagos Badagry project has the railway line embedded in it, and by that, what our administration did was to say the process of reviewing the railway. Look, the railway process, the railway project was badly handled, but it was a good intention. It was a very laudable project that would have helped the Lagos West axis of the state. Now, by that project, our administration took a decision that we will finish the roads on one hand, and then we will continue with the flyover from Igomu all the way to CMS. And a lot of work was done in that regard while we were in office. But for the main railway track itself, we had to get the transportation for London to review it, and they said they were not going to be interested. Then we got the ESCOM in Paris, and they gave us all the support, and they also offered us a lot of money as loans, which they were going to finance 85%. So it's not correct to say Governor Ambode abandoned the Badagry line. No, we did not, and we did not abandon any project for that matter. And let me also state that even the Lubiri project that they say was abandoned, it was not. Whatever work you see on the Lubiri project today is a continuation of what Governor Fashola did initially, and we concessioned the Lubiri project to a private company, and that's the private company that has been building it. Whatever work is going on at the Lubiri is not by any contractor or any concessionaire appointed by Governor Sanwo-Olu. They are those appointed by Governor Ambode, and they are doing the work. So every project is legal project. We did not abandon any, and we could never have abandoned any anyway.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello. Good afternoon.
Dr. REUBEN ABATI, AB from Songo.
AB from Songo. Yes, please.
Yeah,
go ahead. Thank you for joining.
How will this new AMCO group also break that Baba Sope group for them to really penetrate the Lagos State itself? I would have loved them to join PDP so that they can battle and win the governorship election, because since they are in the grassroots, they know all the grassroots, it is very easy for them to really penetrate. So how will they break that Baba Sope group? That is my question. Thank you.
Yes, over to you, Honorable Luo.
Well, thank you very much, the last caller. Thank you very much, the last caller. I also thank you again for the offer to join PDP. I'm sorry to say we are not interested in joining PDP. PDP is a party. They have their own members. They have their own objectives, and they are going to contest the election in their own right. It's their democratic responsibility. Now, telling us to join PDP in order to change the power equation in Lagos, I don't think that is our strategy. We are inside the APC. Our strategy is to contest the primary elections and get the tickets of the party at the governorship and all the levels. If they agree to consensus, we can share. But if they don't agree to consensus, then we go to the fields and then we see who will be victorious. So APC will win the state, but that APC will be an APC that is AMCO. That's the Akinwumi Ambode Campaign Organization. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we still have another caller on the line. Okay, we lost that call. But if you want to be part of the conversation, the number to call is 070-1051-1051.
Hello, Dr. REUBEN ABATI and the guest, the engineer Ninofi from Yaba.
Please go ahead, engineer.
Yeah, the man that has talked very well. Every government has its own priority. Somebody did well in transportation. Look at what he did in also the terminal. It's a fantastic job. And the route to Wabulega. I don't know why some people were so narrow-minded not to appreciate all this. And he has a very good plan on ground. Do they have AMCO is talking? Do they have a governorship aspirant? Because I learned that the GAC as far as Akiolu and what is it, Asawolu to go ahead. Are they going to have only a sole candidate, sole candidates in APC? Those are the things that it's not clear. If they have governorship aspirant, it's better for them to fight. Otherwise, you don't have a governor that is controlling the structure in the state. Is a difficult situation. The last caller has suggested that it's better to align with other force to change the narratives in Lagos, because the manipulation is. And you say you are not supporting the so-called Baba Sokwe, who is already gaining ground in his own right. But let us know the direction you are going, so that people will know whether to support you or to discard your intention. So that's my own thing. Thank you very much.
Honorable Lou, yes.
Yes. I will respond to
it
that.
It was straightforward.
Yes, I want to believe that probably you joined the program late, because I made that clarification before. The announcement by the GAC is a ploy to hoodwink the general public in Lagos into believing that they have the powers to pick who will be the governor of Lagos State. That is not correct. They don't have such power. They are not even recognized by the constitution of our party. So for me, Governor Bode did well, no doubt about that. AMCO is going to come out with his own governorship candidate who will pick the form, the nomination form, and contest the primary with the candidate of the GME, with the aspirants of the GAC. The GAC is an NGO, a non-governmental organization, and they will pick and sponsor an aspirant that will promote their own interests. Our own aspirant will also be from our own group, but that interest will be the broader interest of the people of Lagos State. So we are going to work with other like minds. We know ourselves and the PDP, we have the same objective of changing the power equation in Lagos State, but we are in different parties. So those who will work with us when that time comes, we are open to allow that coalition, and I believe that coalition may be the one that will do this work. But the truth of the matter is that the people count in this struggle, and if the people want change, we as AMCO, we want to be the driver of that change. And if you will join us, it will go a long way in helping us to achieve that objective for the people of Lagos. Thank you very much.
Well, but there was a point that the last caller raised about structure. What structure is in the possession of AMCO? Because he alluded to the fact that there's a certain Baba Sokwe along with the GAC that have the structure of the party, the APC, in their possession. So where would that structure that AMCO will use to either negotiate or to upstage, where will it come from?
Well, with respect to structure, let me put it this way. The structure of the APC in Lagos today, as it relates to executive positions at the state level, the local government level, and the ward levels, they are inchoate. That means they are incomplete. That's the reason why, even at the ward levels, nobody has been sworn in as ward ESCO, either chairman or secretary or assistant publicity and all that. Nobody has been sworn in at the local government level and at the ward levels. Mind you, state level is just one ESCO. At the local government level, you have 20 different ESCO structures, and at the ward levels, you have the 245 ESCO structures. So the 245 plus the 20 has not been sworn in, because they know the process that led to their emergence was not the process that complies with the national directive on consensus basis to determine executive position occupation in the party. So for us, we don't have any ward ESCO. We don't have any local government ESCO. We only have the chairman of the party sworn in Abuja, and all the other members in that state ESCO, we don't recognize them. So the implication of this is that new lists will come out that will harmonize all the tendencies within the party. So what we have today is an anomaly, and it is going to be corrected. So nobody has the structure of the party in their own group or in their own hands at this time. But that process of reconciliation and harmonization is going on, and we believe will come out as the majority participants or members in those ESCOs. And then that's when we'll know whether we have the structure or we don't have it.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I am good Emmanuel calling from Badagry.
Mr. Emmanuel from Badagry, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I want to make some points, just like the question Honorable Poluwo just addressed now. I happen to be one of the ward ESCO of one of the SCDAs in Badagry. And as I speak to you today, I doubt if you are fully aware of the existence of the Akeum Nyambode campaign organization, the 20 local governments and the 37 SCDA. I doubt if any of the chairmen are fully in support of this. The same was what the Jandos group anticipated until they left to join the People's Democratic Party. So just like one other caller also said, if the structure are not there, neither among the ward ESCOs or the chairman of the local governments, I doubt how possible it will be for the AMCO campaign organization to produce candidates at the states and at the states, the executive and the legislative arm of government in the next 2023 general election. I would rather advise that perhaps the journey should start now, so therefore they can recruit and get their support from the grassroots level. Thank you.
Yes, your response to that.
Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel. I think at the risk of repeating myself again, I said it, that there is no structure for the party in Lagos State as we speak today. And I'm being emphatic about this. What we have is the chairman that has been sworn in, and we are even contesting that, because the process that brought him in, that should have been by consensus, was a consensus of one side alone. And that's not the directive of the National Party. So the National is going to see to that and make sure a list that is harmonized, that accommodates all tendencies in the party, would be circulated to all at the appropriate time. That is on one hand. On the other hand, the party that we have now in 2022 going to 2023 election is not the same party we had in 2019 at the national level. The leadership today, we have confidence in them. We believe they'll be fair and they will give us a level playing field. So I will not say more than that. But to say that the monopoly that we've seen in the party is not going to be challenged, I think that is delusional. That monopoly will be challenged and the party will be returned back to the people, the members of the party, that is.
Okay, well, just hold on. I see that someone is trying to call us, but quickly, let me read this message on WhatsApp. He says, the gentleman says, "Good afternoon, doctor. I'm Emmanuel from Ota. It is too late for Ambode to fight back. He was silent for 4 years. No federal appointment that can boost his political career. Dr. Fayemi and Mr. Fayoshe, that passed through the same political predicament like him, were relevant during their trial. He should join the opposition party or join the GAC. I wish him well." Honorable Oluwa.
I'm laughing in Spanish.
Well, is it true that Governor Ambode has been quite silent for 4 years?
Let me put it this way. We do apology to Adekunle Gold, Ariwo Koni music. The same thing applies to politics. Ariwo Koni politics. Governor Ambode may have been silent, but he's been very effective in organizing AMCO and organizing its people. So the result of that will be seen very soon. But as far as we are concerned, you don't need a federal appointment to be effective and to fight for your space in your state. You just need the people, and you need the right strategy and the right funding. AMCO is not bereft of that. The suggestion that we should join PDP in order to, or join GAC. GAC is not a political party. Anybody that's joining GAC is just joining an NGO to protect the interest of their members, and their members are few. I don't think GAC is up to 20 people. So we are not joining GAC. GAC is not known to the party constitution and is not known to the party. But they try to use it to bamboozle people into surrendering their rights to determine who will be the flag bearers of their party or taking decisions within the party. AMCO is a major group in the APC Lagos today, and it will continue to be, and it will participate in the elections and will be victorious by the grace of God.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello? Hello? Okay, we lost that call. Okay, well, our guest is still Honorable Wale Oluo, and he's been talking majorly about political developments in Lagos State and also the Akinwumi Ambode campaign organization.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Comrade Obanagu Mohammed Ibrahim, calling from New Koba.
Go ahead, comrade.
Thank you. First of all, Honorable that is in the studio, in politics, Ariwo is part of politics. That is, by the way. Look, what you talked about, Baba Sokwe, we need to be sincere to ourselves in this country. You cannot benefit from Baba Sokwe and today now return back to us, telling us that Baba Sokwe using that to blackmail one person or the other. If Ambode were to be allowed to continue, even you, that Baba Sokwe would have continued in your own group. But today you are saying you are going to jettison Baba Sokwe. It will not work. Ambode have been staying silent for almost 4 years now. And you are coming back now at this time that you are going, who are you going to put together? Who are those people you are going to put together? Where this other group are already working, going, that even if not today, to be sincere with yourself, with ourselves. I have not heard this name before. And I'm in Lagos, I have not heard this name before. But coming up today and start saying, let us be sincere to ourselves. To not just be playing politics because we want to play politics. Good afternoon.
Well, Honorable Oluo, over to you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Emmanuel. And I want to commend you for your comments.
Comrade Ibrahim, I think.
Okay, Comrade Ibrahim. Sorry for that mix-up. Well, Comrade Ibrahim, let me say that if your position is that you've not heard of AMCO before, then probably you've not been very active in the Lagos politics. Because AMCO started in 2014, and it was a major platform that played a major role in making sure that everybody was victorious. That's in addition to the party structure then. To say Ariwo ni politics, yes, you are right partially. You are right partially. But you know the truth of the matter? Àwọn people ni politics, not Ariwo. It's the people. So if the people say this is the direction to go, even if you make all the noise in this world, you are not going to stop the moving train being prepared by the people. So I needed to clarify that. With respect to Baba Sokwe, the concept of Baba Sokwe is the concept of Godfatherism. Yes, Governor Ambode may have benefited from that, but the people of Lagos have said they don't want it again. Are we going to be bigger than the people? So that is where we stand. We've gone to the field, we know what the people want, we've fed their pulse, and we think it is the right time to provide the leadership that will lead the people to their expectation. If a system is not working, why must we continue with that system? That's not dynamism. So thank you very much, Comrade Ibrahim.
Okay, we'll take one more call, and then we'll begin to draw the curtain on today's conversation. Hello, who's on the line? Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
This is Evangelist Emmanuel.
Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
My bride is still there. May God bless you. See, don't listen to whatever people say. 2023, they will see Lagos in a different form. We are going to support this group. And because of this group, leave PDP and join this group. We want to turn Lagos as around. So no man on Lagos. Lagos is for all of us. It's not for one person. God bless you. We are behind you.
Okay. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. And that your statement is very important. I think as an evangelist, you should also support it with prayers so that God will crown our efforts. I thank you for that confidence in the group. You are welcome. You will soon get our contacts and you can join us.
Okay, I'm tempted to take this one more call. There we go. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please go ahead. Your name, your location.
Okay. Actually, sir, I'm not a mother. I'm just a teenager. My name is Gabriel. I'm coming from Abuja.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, sir, I don't know if I can help me. I'm using the help. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Well, that line is not so clear, but I have someone here raising his hand on Zoom. Adedo. Please, engineer, if we could have Adedo join us. He has his hand up. Adedo via his iPhone. Hello? Is Adedo there? Well, while the engineer is trying to get him to join us, let's take this call. Yes, please go ahead. Hello? Good afternoon.
Mr. Ruben.
Yes, good afternoon.
This is recording from GRA.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
I really appreciate what they are trying to do. Because we know, so compared to Interior, the only person that can give PDP run for their money is when somebody takes that ticket. Because you see Sanwo-Olu will never win 2% of the vote of Lagos. Because we know what they did to us at ESA, so we are still waiting for them at 2023. Sanwo-Olu will only win 20 votes in the family, and Tinubu family vote for him. We are waiting for them. It's only somebody that can give PDP run for their money. But if we see Sanwo-Olu, they give Sanwo-Olu that ticket. APC has lost Lagos State already. Back my word. This is recording from GRA. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I see many hands up on the screen. If we could just take a few of them. Do we have Fatai Adebanjo there? And we can have, very brief comments so that we bring this program to a close. Engineer, Fatai Adebanjo has his hand up. Fatai Adebanjo, please.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Just a very quick one. In as much as we want to commend the effort of the former governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akin Ambode, for making efforts towards ensuring that the political landscape in Lagos narrative is changed. Then what I just want to say, and I want to ask Honorable Lulu, is the fact that what measures is AMCO putting in place towards ensuring that the whole structure of Lagos State, which are the people of Lagos State, are being sensitized with respect to knowing about the plans and what AMCO has brought to the table as far as politics in Lagos is concerned, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, please, if we can keep it brief, let's take one or two more, and then Honorable Luo can respond. Do we have Adeniyi on the line there? Adeniyi, via Zoom.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please, I want to make my own contribution by saying, by the grace of God, this time around, Ambode coming out with this AMCO, we are going to rescue the power from this man. Enough is enough. In 2007, everybody was against the sagacity of this man. He made Fashola a governor within 3 months. By the grace of God, it's going to happen in AMCO too. We are going to raise our own governor. By the grace of God, we are going to produce our own president too. Be sure, this is not a mouth making, but God is on our side. Enough is enough. We are going to rescue that power. Come anything. If they like, they think that they're squad, they think everything, but they will see that people are more powerful than anybody. Thank you.
Okay, very quickly, Emeka. I see Emeka Eboago's hand up there. Emeka, your contribution. Please keep it brief.
Okay, I want to thank what Honorable Wale is doing as regarding getting AMCO to wrestle power from the state government. And I think everybody knows that we can always compare what was done when Governor Ambode became a governor and what we have now. Yoruba will say, "Oh, Kimfi Iku Weun." You can't compare the development that we've seen, the stride that we've seen during Governor Ambode's period and now. And whatever happens come 2023, I think we need that development stride back in Lagos State. Thank you.
We take just one more person and then we'll have to wrap it up. Okpeyemi, I see your hand up there on the screen here in the studio.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to commend the former commissioner, for being here. And I think it's important for us to admit that, just like the last speaker said, Governor Ambode was very, very good at his job. And I think one problem, if he comes back, communication was a challenge with his administration. Very, very important. I think Fashola was dear to many of us because Fashola was a speaker. Governance isn't just about what you are doing. You need to communicate it. And in communicating it, you are getting people on your side. I think that if your principal does come back, hopefully, by next this thing, he needs to speak more to people. And secondly, I just would like to say, I don't have an issue with Godfatherism. It's everywhere in the world. Let's stop saying this. We are talking about Tinubu. As long as we practice democracy as it is practiced in Nigeria, where people are, there will be godfathers. When we break the yoke of poverty, I pray for everybody comes in. When we break the yoke of poverty and we increase the educational standard of people, we will kill Godfatherism without us having to beat any drum. People will be sensitized and people will vote without bag of rice and bag of beans. Thank you.
Well, I guess that's all we'll be able to take on this program today. I still see many hands up, and the dashboard here is blinking non-stop. But someone is there on the screen. It says, AMCO should please make their contact available in all LCDAs. We all want change, and Ambode represents such, the person says. But we've got to go. Honorable Luo, if you could just wrap it up for me by responding briefly to some of the points that have been raised.
Thank you very much. Let me start with Adebanjo. Adebanjo, thank you very much. You were interested in the programs of AMCO. I can assure you that as from tomorrow, you begin to see a lot of stuff about AMCO. For Adeni, you supported AMCO and you still continue to support AMCO. Thank you very much. For Emeka says, I think Emeka was trying to compare Governor Ambode's administration with Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration. Yes, you were right. If you use the basis of infrastructural development, I think Governor Ambode's administration was right on top. But I will not say more than that. For Okpeyemi, yes, you were concerned about the communication by His Excellency Governor Ambode, and you provided an advisory that even when we come back to government, we should communicate more. I want to thank you very much for that advisory, and we'll be guided by your advice. For Godfatherism, maybe I take a fairly different position from yours. Godfatherism starts from a beginning, and as it moves forward, it might move in the progressive direction, and it may also change course and become completely destructive. So if Godfatherism was good, then most of the states in Nigeria would have sustained Godfatherism. Our politics is still not advanced. It will take time, but that destination we want to go, that will make Godfatherism to be relevant, we might not even get to that destination because of Godfatherism itself. So Godfatherism is like a cancer. It begins to spread, and if you don't confront it and stop it, it might just kill the host. So for us, part of AMCO's program is to deal a deadly blow on Godfatherism through the democratic process, because what they call Godfatherism is an unelected person exercising the powers of those that have been elected. I don't think that is democracy, please.
Well, on that
Thank
note,
you very much.
I would like to thank you very much, Honorable Wale Oluo, for taking time out to discuss with us the political developments in Lagos State ahead of the 2023 general elections, and telling us a lot about the Akinwumi Ambode campaign organization, AMCO. I also like to thank all our listeners and those who called in, those who reach out to us on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. But remember, the conversation does not end here. You can still reach out to me on my social media account at ABATI1990 on Instagram and at City1051 on all social media platforms. For those of you who tuned in late, no need to worry. You can visit YouTube page City1051 to watch the entire show. And when you do so, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave comments. And don't forget also to tune in next week at 12 noon for another exciting edition of City Talks. My name is Reuben Abati. The show was produced by Adetunji Adetaye, Charles Flames, Abiodun Odunton, Ayodamola Oludara, and Oluwaseun Adetitun. The executive producer is Adedoja Allen. Have a great weekend, and thank you very much indeed. We'll see you again next Saturday. Bye for now.